Hi everyone, this is Kang and Paul again after a long hiatus from Asians Not Brainwashed by Media. We have another episode today, and we will start with a review of an Asian product that Paul stumbled into at a Korean liquor store recently.
And it's a liquor store. It was just a regular Korean, shop, like a Korean grocery store. But
so you just had your first taste. What is it? It's from the company Ito En, and it's called Genki Vitamin C. And he likes it because it's a calamansi drink, which is a Filipino type fruit, I believe.
No, it's a very calamansi is kind of like a I don't know if y'all know have tried it, but it's kind of like a citrusy kind of drink. It's like something like a lime, but concentrated like a lemon. It's something like a lemon, but concentrated like a lime. It's like super duper concentrated. But like if you're a Filipino, like you probably drank this stuff all the time growing up. So yeah, I saw it and I was like, calamansi. I'm like, no way, I'm gonna try this out, because it's like it's one of these Japanese drinks, and like I wanted to see what it tastes like. Um, it's got hints of calamansi in there, but also like there's a slightest hint of green tea. But because Ito En is kind of like known for their tea, so it has like a bit of that very slight flavor of that. But for the most part, does it actually taste like a calamansi drink? Because I would say maybe 50%. Like I wouldn't say it's like it this I wouldn't say the taste is like there, but then again, this is a Japanese drink and it's like it's manufactured like me, I have like a tree in my backyard, so I just squeeze it. So that's like the real deal. But like for a drink that's like it's in the can and it's it's Japanese and it's manufactured. Um Obviously I'm not too surprised that it tastes a little bit different, but it gets pretty close. It's there. So I don't know. It's not bad.
All right, so one out of 10
Hmm.
in terms of just overall flavor.
1 out of 10.
10 being best.
Does that include like price and availability?
Sure. Yeah. Overall, yeah.
For the price, I'd give it considering like the price and the availability, and I'd probably give it like a 5.
Okay. Well, what about just the flavor alone?
Just the flavor by itself, probably like a 7 or 8.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
that's
would
pretty good.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
All
not
right.
bad.
Well, anyway, I couldn't
It's
find
new.
it online except on this interesting website, 0035mm.com. You
Yeah.
can buy, one for 225. And trust me, we're not endorsed by this company. Paul just happened to stumble upon this drink and wanted to review it.
Yeah. I'm just reading it right now. It's like it says made in Hawaii. Wow, distributed by Ito in Brooklyn, New York. So it's not even made in Japan, it's made in Hawaii. But I will say that it has that the acidity of calamansi that's kind of like because calamansi is very strong. It's very concentrated, and it has like something like an aftertaste. And I will say that this drink kind of has that.
Hmm.
But but I mean, it's not like 100% like exactly pure calamansi, but it's all right. I guess like you know from a can from a vending machine or something. Whatever, it's all right. Okay. I will say because calamansi needs tropical, like a really hot tropical environment, and I don't think you can grow that like in Japan. So
Hmm.
if I was just in Japan and I didn't have like a calamansi like readily available, I think this would be good enough. Like I
Nice.
would, yeah. But if
All
I
right.
was like if I had,
Anyways,
yeah. Well, anyway, enough of
so
me.
tangent aside, um,
Anyway.
thank you for that review. Very
Mhm.
very enlightening.
I've been wanting to get that out of the way for so long, bro. Like this has been in my fridge for like months. I've been saving it for this podcast like forever.
Well, you're able to talk about it for the two of us who actually care about that. But anyway, next topic. So I'm not sure how many of you watched the UFC 290 fights yesterday. Didn't really have any Asians in it, but one interesting topic came up that I wanted to get your guys' input on. So there's a fight between this guy over here, Dricus du Plessis. He's a South African. He was born in South Africa, and I'm not sure if any of you know the history of whites in South Africa, but the Dutch, I believe, settled there first in the 1600s, and so they've been there for hundreds of years. And I think this guy's lineage is from that, and he was born and raised in South Africa. Represents his country. He actually trains there as well. He's still living there. Anyway, so he fought a title contender yesterday, beat him, and his next fight is going to be against the champion, Israel Adesanya, who was actually born in Nigeria, obviously black guy, and but he now trains in the United States. And so du Plessis made a very controversial comment saying that he's going to be the first truly African champion, even though there's been a lot of black champions already in the UFC. He's going to be the first African champion because he actually was born there and he still lives there and he trains there. And so a lot of black people, in particular Israel, got super upset about that. And post-fight, they had a face-off, and he proceeds to try and stir things up. So pretty interesting. Adesanya, he actually used to train in New Zealand, but he trains in the US now. So, that goes, towards the towards Asians as well. What does it mean to be Chinese? What does it mean to be Filipino? If a white guy was born and raised in the Philippines or China, and they've been there for many generations, can they be considered Chinese? So really interesting concept. And, and Adesanya started calling du Plessis the N-word to prove a point that because he's not black, he can't truly be African. So yeah, Paul, I'm not sure what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I mean that is funny that he can't. I mean, but does he get the N-word passed up? Like, I mean, Elon Musk is also South African, right? Like,
yeah, he's the richest African man ever.
Yeah, the most successful African American in the world. But
so here's the interesting thing, right? Again, this doesn't really have as much to do with Asians. It kind of does, but Adesanya's ancestors were they're Africans, obviously, and they were the ones who actually sold slaves to the slave traders, who brought them over and became slaves. And so the N-word, does it apply to his people, or does it only apply to like descendants of African American slaves? Because his ancestors literally sold these slaves to America. So like, who really has a right to even use that word? I don't know. It's just kind of interesting.
And then he would also like, yeah, imagine if like your ancestors were like yeah, like you're like one of those Africans who sold slaves, but then like you come to America and you benefit from affirmative action.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Oh yeah, we have to talk about it too. Actually, that's hilarious.
Kind of messed up, right?
Oh man, but yeah, a Chinese person living in China, for hundreds of years, who's white. I mean, can they be considered Chinese? I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards yes on that regard, because China's actually like a multi-ethnic country.
Have you ever heard of Kaifeng Jews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaifeng was a city near Shanghai, and there was a large Jewish population there for a long time. But I think they had to evacuate during World War II or something like that.
No, it's not.
Oh, no. They're still there, right?
Dude, I from what I understand, Kaifeng Jews were there from they're like one of the lost tribes, like from antiquity.
Tribes of Israel?
Yeah, really. Like, cause you know how like let's look it up. Kaifeng Judaism in China.
Oh my gosh, China's persecuting Jews too? Wait, what?
Oh my gosh. Kaifeng,
Ridiculous.
tiny Jewish, yeah, something like that. The Chinese Jews.
Look at this Jew.
No, but I'm pretty sure. Not like no, really, really, really and I think they were there before, way before World War II. Like it's kind of like a long.
Chinese Jew living in Israel. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, it's hilarious, right?
That is so funny. Oh
No,
boy.
like look at no, no, look at this guy, and then like the Chinese girls like, look at me, I am the Jew now.
Man. Oh boy.
My grandpa always knows he is a Jew. He told me everything about Jews, so I was
Wait,
like,
wait, yeah.
Russian guy in China. I mean,
What's that guy's name? I think John sent this to us, right?
oh yeah.
What
This
the heck?
Russian,
The
but
old Russian guy. This guy. Yeah, this guy.
yeah. I mean that certainly exists. And I think there's even like in the PLA, there's even like Russian Chinese, it's like serving in the
Yeah.
PLA. Because it was that one thing we were showed like that one picture of like the Mongolian or Chinese guys like serving in the Soviet army.
Yeah.
The Asian guys in it's like pretty common. But then there's on the other side, on the flip side, there's also like those Slavic Russian looking guys like serving in the PLA too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. So yeah, this guy's story is pretty interesting. So his great grandmother
Yeah.
was is Russian, obviously, and then she actually divorced her white husband and married a Chinese guy, and so her great grandfather's adoptive father, or her grandfather's adoptive
All
father,
right,
came
that's
to the
confusing.
village.
I'm
Whatever.
not-
Anyway, regardless, okay, he was raised essentially in like a Chinese area, right? Speaks
All right.
fluent Mandarin, like married a Chinese woman. I'm sure many of us are not okay with that, but honestly, in this case, I'm more okay with it because he's culturally Chinese. He's like very Chinese. You know what I mean?
What China needs to do is bring this guy on trade, on trade negotiations and trade deals with the US, like parade him around.
Look at that
so
hat. He looks like a Chinese person.
Yeah.
No,
But then he's when
for
these
real though,
racist Americans see him.
yeah. No, but this guy, a lot of white guys,
Yeah.
like they're sexpats, right? They go to Asian countries and they just want to fuck the women, and that's it.
No.
They don't care about the culture. Whereas this guy, like, legit is he lives in China. He's a farmer, I think.
He's not a
Like
suspect.
very Chinese way of life culturally. Yeah, I think it's fine.
He's not a
like
sexpat. The fuck?
No, so I give guys like this a pass. Like, guys who are legit like this, I think it's fine. What do you think?
I mean, yeah. No, of course. I mean, he's definitely not a sex fan. In fact, he probably makes fun of them too.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, your average sex fan isn't even gonna know how to speak Chinese.
Right.
Like they don't even care to learn the language. So
yeah,
like this guy is like, dang,
yeah. No, China has a ton of minorities, like Turkish people. They have Jews. They have various Muslim
the
tribes.
Uyghurs from Xinjiang.
The Uyghurs are also Chinese. So yeah, I think it's fine, honestly. Anyways.
But it's like China is a multi-ethnic society. I think that's the concept of Zonghua Minzu, right?
Yeah, Chinese culture, right?
Yeah, Chinese ethnicities, which it's not just Han,
Yeah. Basically a variety of ethnicities, but all Sinicized, like Chinese culturally. Actually, you brought up something interesting, the Eileen Gu phenomenon, which has to do with this as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Eileen Gu was like she's a half Chinese, half American pro snowboarder. And she triggered a lot of people because she's like a gold medalist, like snowboarder, who competed in the Olympics, and but she competed under the Chinese flag for China, won China a bunch of like gold medals. And so yeah, a lot of like Americans got super triggered by it, Which I mean, I'm sure on a regular day they'd be like, "Go back to your country, guys, America." But then like so she's like, "Okay, yeah, let me compete for China," and like and then they're like, what? Why would you do that? You're American. Come back to me. And I'm like, really, 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 guys,
Yeah, she.
really, yeah.
I mean, she's really good looking. That's probably another reason why they're pissed off. And like this hot,
Oh, she's a hot
basically
supermodel athlete.
yeah, so this hot supermodel athlete that decides to compete for China, like super a lot of I'm sure white dudes got triggered as fuck. It's just pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I think what's his name? I think even like who's that guy?
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I was like crying about it. Not literally crying, but just he had like a whole segment where he was like talking about it. And I think like
Yeah.
yeah, I think she like replied or like on Twitter, she was just like cry about it.
Yeah. I think people would be even more triggered if she married a Chinese guy. That would be hilarious. Likelihood, I'm not sure how high, but that would be
Do we
funny.
know
Funny.
who she's with?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if she's dating.
Do
She's
we
only
want to
like
find
20.
out? Do we want
No,
to find
probably not.
out? What? Because what? Oh, man!
Oh no, it is a white guy.
See, you didn't.
Wait, kissing the mysterious man at the skating rink and being choked? Wait, what?
What?
She's into some kinky stuff, I guess, huh? Taiwan Post, of course.
Choked by worshiping foreigners.
I'm so confused. It might not even be her, honestly.
Just looks like someone.
I think it's just bad translation. Whatever.
Okay. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Oh, I think you mentioned that this couple would be pretty good, right?
Oh, Guan Yu Zhou.
Guan Yu Zhou and Ivan Gu.
That would be a sick power couple. Not gonna lie, bro. Not gonna lie.
How sick would that be?
That would be super sick. Like, no, seriously, F1 driver for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
and
that's
this
pretty
like,
badass.
Olympic gold medalist, man, they would make some master race fucking baby. Like, supreme athletes, like
Supreme gentlemen, except they're actually be supreme.
Right, like apex, like athletes are freaking god. Guan Yu Zhou is actually doing pretty well. Like
yeah,
he's doing decent for a rookie and for the car he's driving. Of course, like I don't think he's doing as well as Valtteri, but oh well, no, he's at 15. Let's see the standings.
It's pretty good.
The way you gotta compare him to his teammate Valtteri. So let's see where.
Right.
Let's see where.
That's pretty good. Right.
Let me see. He's at 15. Valtteri's
4
at 15.
points.
Oh, he's right there. He's like, that's only 1 point. Come on.
Yeah,
that's
pretty good.
Then I can swing like either. Yeah, absolutely. Oh wow, Williams is doing good. Let me see. Hold up. I want to see what the Asians are doing. So Albin is 13 right now.
Oh, Albon actually has 11 points. Wow.
Yeah. Have you seen his girlfriend? She's a pretty hot golf lady too. Yeah. Her name is I forgot her name. We can look it up later. Where's Yuki?
And the Japanese guy's not as good.
Holy shit, Yuki is down at 17. I did not expect that.
His car sucks.
Alpha Tower. Yeah, Alpha Tower's not doing so good this season. Nick DeVries is he's kind of technically a rookie too. So Lily.
Oh, damn, son.
Yeah, she's like this like professional.
Oh, she's Chinese?
Yeah, Lily Hay.
That's funny.
Yeah. Everybody stands them. It was like the Alex.
Yeah, she's pretty attractive for sure. She's interesting. I wonder if she has some work done.
Who knows? Who cares? I was listening to some the podcast where Alex like he brings her on and it's so funny like hearing them like as a couple like because apparently he's not a pro golfer. He's like terrible at golf. Uh, and so he's kind of like a menace at the golf course. Like he just kind of like
That's
distracts
funny.
her all the time. It's pretty funny.
So anyway, so your stance is so yeah, these guys we're talking about Albon, Guan Yu Zhou, and Yuki Tsunoda. They're F1 drivers, and out of I think 20 F1 drivers, 3 of them are at least part Asian, which is pretty awesome. There's only one half black guy, Lewis Hamilton, in F1 right now. So yeah, we talk about what sports to push and which ones are, we support Asians in any sports. So Paul, your stance is we should push Asians in like the motor sports more so, right?
Yeah, no, I think actually motorsport is actually a really good fit for Asians because there's a long history of it, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But actually, speaking of which, though, like speaking of like the whole nationality thing, right? I believe there was when Alex when Alex Albon like debuted in F1, there was a bit of a hoorah because he's really kind of British. He's British Thai, right? He's Thai, but he kind of grew up and trained
Right.
in England and all that. He's pretty much like British. He doesn't even speak Thai, to be honest. Like kind of funny.
Right.
But all his sponsors are Thai, and he flies under he has a Thai racing license and races under the Thai flag. And so he gets like a lot of Thai sponsorships and things like that. But which is really good for the country, to be honest. Like it's fantastic. But um yeah, but that's like another like similar situation to Eileen, where like she's like like Asian, she's Chinese American, but she competes under the Chinese flag. So yeah,
I think
really,
people
really.
I think people have less of an issue because China and America are rivals, but Thailand, like no one really cares. Like they're not
Oh
really a
yeah,
threat to
yeah.
us.
I mean, no. Okay, fine. Would people cared when Alex was doing like the Brits like
Really?
obviously like would bring it up more when he was racing for Red Bull.
Oh, like they were triggered?
Not triggered, but they would just like kind of, yeah, maybe slightly miffed by it, like then they would say like, oh, the London born Thai driver, like they would
Oh
like
yeah,
kind
that's
of
true. Yes.
like remind say that stuff, but then like, but when that's like when he was like racing for a top team like Red Bull, when he was
Right.
doing like really well, like his rookie season, he just got promoted like crazy. So I mean,
Yeah, but they didn't call him like a traitor. Like
no,
people were
no, no, no,
super
not
negative. People are
it
super
wasn't.
negative on Eileen. Yeah, but they're not as negative because Thailand's not a threat to us. That's why.
I mean, it wasn't a threat, but they definitely wanted to claim him, because he was a top driver at a top team. Now I wouldn't say he was a top driver, but he was in like the one of the top teams at the time, and he got promoted to like the big team, the big leagues, like overnight, and like with that kind of prestige and that kind of like spotlight, or it raised his profile, and so like for a country like if you were like London, like you would want to see your flag there, instead of like the Thai flag. But then it was also kind of big news because like um he's only like the second Thai driver, and he's the most successful like Thai driver in history. The last one was like in the 70s or 60s, and he was like some Thai king or something, or a prince. So it was, I mean, the Britain, the UK has like so many drivers already that and Thailand has like almost like none. Like he's like only the second one. So it's like for a sport that's trying to go global and trying to win more supporters like overseas and stuff. Like it was a big win, like in that sense. But I kind of understand like that how the Brits like kind of like wished that he was like under their flag. But
Yeah,
oh
it's nice
yeah,
that they
yeah,
allow
yeah,
him to do that.
yeah.
Anyways,
So
so that brings us to other
oh
sports that yeah,
yeah, like why I'm kind of partial to motorsport for
right,
Asians.
right.
Okay. Okay. So usually other motorsport is different from like all the other, I wouldn't say all the other pure sports, but like say for example like the other sports, right? Like it's mostly like it's more physicality, you know, and it's not really like an engineering sport. Like motorsport is very engineering like oriented, right? Well, at least the constructor series are like especially Formula One. Like it's an engineering battle, right? And
Okay.
yeah, and Asians like excel at that. Like you look at like you look at the Japanese like automakers, you know, and you look at they have a history of success in Formula One. In fact, in Red Bull, thanks to their partnership with Honda, was able to win like their first was able to get their first win and their first championship because of their engine. Red Bull is a customer team, like customer as in like they buy their engines from other like suppliers and stuff. And in the years before that, they had a very rocky relationship with Renault, a very unreliable engine, and there's accusations that because they're a customer team, that they couldn't really like um, like extract like the most performance from it. But thanks to like their partnership with Honda and the reliability and all the good stuff that came from that, uh, yeah, no, they were able to win a championship, like in that sense. And even back in the day during what was it, McLaren Honda, Ayrton Senna, yeah, Ayrton Senna. It was that was also like the McLaren Honda like partnership too, and they were so basically the history of Honda is motor racing. Like yeah, a lot of most people think of like Hondas as like Civics and like custom and like and like
Of
consumer
course.
cars and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
just like but like and so when you think like when I first got into the motorsport, I was kind of surprised like what Honda races cars, but no, like the history of Honda actually started with motor racing. I think with like bikes or something. So
Huh.
like yeah, it's in their blood, it's in their DNA. Just as
Well, the
much.
question is
So
how would this improve the standing of Asian males in particular in the sexual marketplace? Like, does this help? Like, we talk about which Asian,
oh,
which sports would best for Asian male. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. So I
yeah.
mean, like, okay, so I know you like chess, right? And you like the whole yeah, which I mean, it's an okay sport, but like there's like I feel like in success in chess, like Asian success in chess is kind of similar to like Asian success in like math Olympics or something, you know? Like the math team, like yes, it's kind of like a given, like
Ah,
it doesn't really change or challenge stereotypes or anything, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah. Math
Whereas like
Olympics. Yeah.
no, or like those Olympic championship things, and it's like all the like look at the math teams or something, and it's like yeah, math Olympiad, and in the images it's all like a bunch of Chinese.
The U.S. math team.
And North Korea is on there too. Oh my goodness.
Yes, math team.
Even the US math team is like yeah, team camp. Asians
Oh
are front and
man.
center. But anyway, um yeah, no, like people already understand that Asians are very 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 smart and have very big brains. So I think people get that. But they don't really attribute like those qualities of like like bravery or daring or or sport or like
Right.
risk taking or like that kind of um
Yeah,
that kind of
the
the
qualities.
bravery, you know, the
Right.
balls, man. Gotta have balls to like.
Here, but the
I
thing
mean,
is, right?
anybody,
Yeah,
yeah, right. Like
in
anybody can sit in
America,
a table and play chess, you
right.
know.
The
Like,
thing is,
but I,
in America, though, in America, right? Um, People don't really watch. Unless you're from the South, they don't really watch motorsports. Like I tell people about F1 and the F1 Netflix series, and most people are like, "What?" I'm not sure about that. Well, a lot of Europeans watch it, but like Americans typically don't watch it. They focus more on sports like basketball, baseball, and football.
the big four.
Um, right.
Yeah.
So the question is like, would pushing Asians in F1 really matter? And that because of that.
Um, it's growing. It's
Yeah.
growing, and F1 like it could be a bit of an echo chamber, honestly, because like I watch a lot of F1, and so F1
Right.
it's like it's their own little world. So,
Right.
but I mean the increase from like a couple years back, we only had like one race in America, right? Like it was Austin. Uh, this year there's three. Like, okay, so for the longest time it was only Austin. Then last year we had Austin and Miami. This year we have Austin, Miami, and Las Vegas. So that's three
Mm-hmm.
races like in one country, bro. So like there's
U.S.
a
Grand Prix.
ton of growth. Yeah, yeah. There's like a ton of growth here in the US as far as like, this as far as F1 goes. And in F1 world, they recognize this and they realize this because of the whole Netflix like Drive to Survive or whatever. And it
Mm.
really like, you know, like brings in like a new audience and like new people in the sport. And Americans do think it's pretty cool. Like it's actually a pretty um, I was thinking about this the other day. Like why Vegas, right? But it's actually
Mm.
a really good fit. Like okay, so F1 has to avoid like competition, like existing competition in America, right? Like if you wanted to race like near Vegas, there's actually several like circuits or street circuits nearby that like IndyCar uses. I don't think they do like in the Seika, but they there's a Long Beach. But the thing
Mm.
is that like they're kind of in there's like this whole competition thing, right? Like between like IndyCar and F1 and NASCAR and like all these racing series like do kind of like do kind of like ha, have friction or like bump heads sometimes or like compete with each other. So I don't like I was thinking, well, why can't they just race in Long Beach? Like that would be nice. But then right, like somewhere in LA or something, like somewhere like kind of like world renowned and stuff. But you know, Long Beach is there, and I think what's it called? Yeah, the IndyCar is already there. Um, so why not Vegas, right? Because I mean, Vegas is
Right.
also a big name. People, it's casinos, it's gambling, it's kind of like
Yeah.
Monte Carlo, the street circuit, big
Yeah.
money.
I think it's a great spot.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's no other like race. I don't think IndyCar races there either. So this is what
They're like,
I
why?
was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
And what I was thinking is that, like, I mean, I normally don't like Vegas. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of like the sleazy. Like, I don't know. I've never liked the town like Vegas itself, you know. But I
It's
feel,
cool.
yeah, nah, dude. I don't know. I don't know. It's just never been like my thing. But my realization is that Formula One doesn't like buy value, right? Like, it doesn't need to race like in LA or in Hollywood for a name
Mm.
for itself or whatever. Like Formula One brings value, creates
Mm.
value. So so watching watching being a fan of F1 myself and like seeing like the backdrop to Vegas and stuff like that. It actually makes me think that Vegas is all right. Like before this, I'm like, man, Vegas. I don't know. Maybe I still do it. Maybe I still think Vegas like sucks. But but like after seeing like the hype, like the way everyone like hypes up Vegas, I'm like, hey, like maybe I might be interested in checking it out.
All right. Back, back to the yeah. So women are capable of enjoying. Yeah. So a lot of women apparently find certain drivers attractive,
Ah,
and that makes total sense. A lot of
yeah,
the
yeah.
driver, it's like a dangerous sport. It's super masculine, and women are attracted to that. That makes total sense. Much more so than I'm not sure if you've been following the what what. No, I'm just saying.
No.
I'm not sure if you've been following chess, but
Ah,
the current reigning chess champion is Ding Liren, who's actually the first ever Chinese chess champion. And I'm not even, I think the first winner from an Asian country, I believe. No, outside of India, but I'm the first East Asian chess champion.
why isn't he a
Um,
woman?
wait, what?
Why isn't
What?
why isn't he a woman?
Are you talking
He's
about
like
King's Gambit?
oppressive, huh? Yeah, oppressive patriarchal Asian male. They should have like Mulan. Mulan should be winning this.
Yeah, so he beat this Russian
Wow.
Jewish guy for the
Oh,
championship this past year, and so it's a huge deal. But I don't think anyone outside of chess, fans really cared about this.
no.
And it's not like Ding Liren slinging dick everywhere. He's
Nah,
not
I don't.
like
I really don't see that.
yeah.
In fact, I think we were talking about this, and I was saying that even I bet esports guys get laid more than this guy.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Oh man, that's kind of sad but true.
But
Um, but in chess, there's actually a lot of like really good chess players. The best players from Sweden, but the second best is a Japanese guy. Fourth is Ding Liren. You got Wesley So, who's Filipino. You got like some Indians. The Chinese guy, top 20, a Vietnamese guy. So Chinese or Asians are well represented in chess.
mm,
Um, so I wonder if we should just, I agree with the F1 thing, push F1, push like the motorsports as well, Asians in motorsports. But if America were a more civilized society, I think chess would be more popular and Asians would be doing better, right? Like from a Asian male sexual monkey standpoint. I think again, a lot of the reasons why we're not doing as well is because of the culture. Like our culture really pushes for things like
no, but hold
football.
up. Does China
Oh,
know
wait.
about this?
Let me.
Is this popular
No,
in
no.
China too?
China doesn't. But I'm saying, just China likes sports that require more technique and skill, like ping pong, badminton. Things like that. But I think it's pushed by the government a little bit. But still, like in Korea, you got archery. In Japan, you got things like judo, like very technically oriented things. So if the West were less savage, I guess, culture that because we like things like football. Football is basically you're ramming your body into another person. Boxing, you're punching someone's brains out. If we're geared more towards like nerdy stuff like chess, esports, I think Asians would do much better. You know?
I kind of disagree with you on that. Like, there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of technique in fight sport, man. Like boxing, like
True.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of, yeah, and
I agree.
football has
Yeah.
has tons of like strategy and technique and
Yeah.
thinking like involved.
But it requires like brute force, a lot of brute athletic, like brute physical, like
Athleticism, yeah,
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 yeah.
that's
No,
what a
but
sport
it's
is.
it's a different type of athleticism though.
That's why
It's like in ping pong, it's more refined, it's more precise. You know what I mean?
yes, no,
It
I mean,
is.
I no, okay, like
Oh, look. In
like
football, let's look at the linemen. Let's look at the defensive line, offensive line. Does that really require that much like precision? You're pushing some dude as hard as you can. That's
well,
that's
obviously
that's
they're
pretty
not the
much it.
brains of the operation, but
No, but what I'm saying
yeah.
is it's overall a less precision based sport than ping pong for sure. Even compared to badminton, it's
Well,
it's definitely less technique and less coordination
what
in many
about the
positions.
quarterback? I
Yes,
mean,
that's
come
that's
on.
one position. That's one position.
And it's just one player. Like that's a team sport versus like you're comparing or apples to oranges here. Like you're comparing like a solo sport like tennis and ping pong to to a team sport like football. Like, I mean, yeah, what about the quarterback or the coach or the strategist on the fields? Like it's not really like, of course there's plenty of thinking and like strategy that goes on in football. I think
I don't think
may-
I don't think you're understanding what I'm trying to say.
maybe
I'm
it's more
trying to
like
say,
tennis. Like tennis
yeah,
is a better comparison, right, to ping pong.
yeah. Well, tennis, yes, but my point is that in those sports like football, you have to be extremely explosively athletic to do well. Whereas in things like ping pong, it's more training. Yeah, yes, obviously you need reflexes and super high levels of that to do well, but I feel like ping pong is more if you train well, you can do well more so. Whereas in
I've
sports like football, huh?
I've seen some like top level like ping pong players, and they are athletic, dude.
That's not my point, dude. Of course they are at the highest level, but my point is it's more technical. Okay, you're telling me ping pong is less technical than like a linebacker or a cornerback
You can't use linebacker, dude. But like, I mean, come on, that's
overall.
not the same. But let's say, for example, a quarterback. I feel like a quarterback is a
But you're taking the
is a
most
better comparison.
technical like person from the team, which includes like 60 people, compared to like ping pong.
Well,
You
and
can't
you're
do that.
taking the least technical. I
I'm
mean,
talking
okay,
average. I'm talking average. Average. If you're talking average, the average ping pong player is more technical and skilled in his sport than football. Football, you're like, there's guys who barely train, like they're just athletic and they do well. Whereas in ping pong, you have to train your entire life to do well. You know what I mean?
no, man.
And also in boxing,
What?
in boxing,
Absolutely
like
not.
I'm not sure if you know, uh, I'm not sure if you
Okay.
know boxing also, but Deontay Wilder, like one of the champions,
Yeah,
he's a heavyweight champion. The dude started boxing when he was like 20 or something, and he became champion in a matter of a couple of years.
that's one
Like
guy.
Anthony Joshua from the UK, also a heavyweight, also started training in his 20s, also a champion, like one of the best fighters, and in a matter of a couple of years.
Okay.
So I'm saying it's way less technical and more about athleticism, which I guess it's fine. I'm just saying Europeans and like Westerners and also Africans, I guess, they're geared more towards that type of athletic ability compared to Asians, which again, I mean, you were
Whoa,
even talking
whoa.
about this with like motorsports, right? Like motorsports is more technical, right? I
No,
mean, that's your whole
hold
point,
up.
isn't it?
If your point is that like it's more athleticism, then it should gear towards like the younger, like um like the prime age is like in their like 20s or something, in their prime physical form, as opposed to like if it was really a more technical sport, like you can be winning like at an older age, and it doesn't really require that as much physicality, and you can kind of rely more on your experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's both, but I mean, wasn't that your point about racing though? That racing is more technical and like engineering based and such. I
it's
thought that
it's
was your
it's a
point as
tech
well.
it's technical in the sense that like yeah, there's a lot of science involved, like and it's also um how should we define technical? Like it's very like it's complicated. Like there's a lot of like scientific concepts that you need to understand, as far as like like it's not and this isn't just like your regular road car. There's like a lot of like advanced like aerodynamic concepts and like weight distributions and things like that you know that you kind of need to understand as like as a driver, and as communicate to like the engineers and things of that nature, to like the technical team. So um yeah, no, that's why I think like it's that's why a lot of people don't understand, is like, oh, these guys are just drivers. Are they even really athletes? Like I hear that a lot. Like when first people first watch that sport, is like they're just sitting there driving. Like is that even like a real sport? Like like golf, is that even a real sport? Like how
Yeah,
athletic do you have to
I think
be?
I think we're talking. Like, I think we're both agreeing on the same thing.
Right, right.
That that Asians again excel at things that are more technical that require probably higher levels of intelligence slash skill, and more science based than things like boxing, football, things like that. Yes, there's skill involved for
Whoa,
sure, but a lot of it is also just athleticism. You know what I mean?
Asians
Like
can
there's
be
much
athletic
less.
too,
That's not my point, dude. Obviously, yes, but they rely only on athleticism in many regards, especially the heavyweights.
not just brute
Um,
strength. Well,
for strength,
I mean,
yeah.
because I mean,
Whereas
it's
thing,
not like
whereas
China has
like
a football program.
right, no, but but things
They
like, for
have a
example, even
weightlifting
baseball.
program. They have an Olympic weightlifting program,
Yeah,
and.
yeah, weightlifting is more technical in many regards than boxing, especially for the heavyweights. Like those
BS,
guys, the Chinese
BS.
athletes. I'm not sure if you know this, but the Chinese athletes, they pick them when they're young and they train from like when they're 6 or something. And
Oh,
all the champions have been training their entire lives. Same with I think same with even racing. I think racing, a lot of the guys start training when they were super
yeah,
young.
yeah.
You can't achieve that level of success unless I think you've done that in those particular sports. Um,
Alex Albon was talking about that.
right.
Because Nick, like
So you agree with me?
yeah.
So what the heck are you talking about? But
No, no, no,
whereas
no,
like
no,
in
no.
things,
He
yeah,
was saying that like a lot of the top, like a lot of the F1 racers, the top F1 racers right now, like start when they're like 5 or 6 years old, and I
right,
think like compared to him, like I think his teammate last year, Nicky, or Nick, Nicholas or something. Yeah, his teammate, his Canadian teammate Nick, started much later, like in his teens, and he was saying the difference is that like when you start so young, like at like in your like under 10, like 5 years old or something. Yeah, Latifi, Nick Latifi. He started like much later in life, like in his teens, and whereas Alex and like Orlando and George and those guys like started like super early, like 5, 6 years old or something, like started go-karting at that age. And Alex was saying in an interview that it does it it it's not that it's impossible, because I mean, Nicholas Latifi like was in there, but he was definitely outperformed by Alex, and Alex was explaining that because because they started at such a young age, like so many things are just instinctual to them, like the
right,
way
right,
and like sensing like of the car and things like that it just comes like second nature. And when you're driving that fast and at that high level, like you can't really think about things, whereas like
right.
Nick Latifi kind of still has to think about some of these things, like for him, whereas the guys that start at 5 or 6, it's like instinct. It's like they don't even think about it. Like it's just
Right, right.
you know
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And another sport that's very technical is baseball.
mm,
And
mm,
you see a lot of Japanese players now doing well. Apparently, this guy Shohei Ohtani, I don't watch baseball as much,
yeah.
but people are saying he's the greatest baseball player ever, like better than Babe Ruth, because
Wow.
he's able to excel in a pitching and hitting aspect of the game. He's leading the major leagues in home runs, which is crazy.
Wow.
He has 32 home runs by midway. So he's like on point to like, or he's on pace to hit like 60 something homers this year, which is ridiculous. And he's a starting pitcher, and he's a pretty good pitcher too. His ERA, I think, is close to 3, which is pretty good. But yeah, this guy
Yeah.
started training from
Mm,
when he was like 6 or earlier, I
mm-hmm,
think. And I
mm-hmm.
think in things like baseball, if China started to develop baseball, I think it would do well, because it's, again, my point is it's just more technical and more, if you train young, you would do well, kind of thing. Whereas things like basketball, football, you just have to be super gifted and you'll be fine. That's my point.
I don't know about gifted, but like I mean, at a high level, you do have to have like some kind of gifted or talent or something. But
Of
I will say
course.
that for like basketball and football, it's like you also got to be big and tall.
Right. Right.
Like there's no height.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
And by the way, Asians do excel at boxing, dude. They really
Yes.
do.
No, I meant, okay, so fine. I guess to specify, I meant heavyweight boxing. How about that? You're right.
Yeah,
The lighter weight
at the
classes is much more
lightweights.
technical. Yes, lightweights is
Yeah,
very technical. The heavyweights, I should
yeah.
specify that. It's way more just, if you're big and strong, you're fine. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
right.
it's like, what I was thinking. It's like, what would make like what's it, a basketball like more competitive or like more interesting, is if they had like
Yeah.
height leagues, like
I
height
think they do. Like,
restrictions.
I think they
Nah,
do.
Like you can't
There's
be
like an
like
under 6 foot,
under 6 foot,
under 6 foot
under
league.
6'10",
Yeah,
under 6 foot
yeah, yeah.
basketball league. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck.
No, they are seriously. I think is
That's
this in the Olympics
interesting.
even?
Oh
But there's
wow.
definitely competitions with this. Yeah.
I mean, it's not as big, but I mean that would make sense because I mean, in boxing you have like like weight classes, you
Right.
know, like
Right.
that makes right, and maybe even for football if they had something like that. Like I mean, I don't know if that makes any sense, but well,
Yeah,
I
we
mean, not
talked about this
necessarily.
actually. Yeah, we actually talked about this. Your thoughts on basketball being super popular in the Philippines? It's probably not the best sport to push Filipinos into, huh?
Not in the over 6 feet category, but like
Not in the open weight category.
not open
Oh
height,
my
open
gosh,
height.
open height rather. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but if they had like a shorter, uh, you know,
Under
I
five
think they
eight.
would kill it. I think Filipinos would actually kill it. Like if they were like in an under
Under
six
five
feet or
eight
under five
basketball.
ten.
Under
Yeah, under
under
five
five
eight
eight
or under
basketball
five
league.
ten. Yeah. No, really. Like I there's some they're pretty good. Like they can be pretty
Yeah, yeah.
good. Like I feel like they would then they would have like the advantage there. Like I feel like they'd
Oh
do pretty
man.
well. Like they'd kill it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Just dude, I mean, just imagine, dude, a bunch of little Manny Pacquiao's, like
Just killing
tearing
all
up
the
the
leagues
basketball
or an
court in
NBA.
the in the under 6 feet. Like
Oh man,
that's
hilarious.
hilarious.
All right, so next topic after that contentious talk.
Oh,
Um,
by the
yeah,
way, motorsport.
yes.
Speaking of white Asians, like in motorsport, it's advantageous actually for you to be like small and short.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Like F1 cars, like I think like Lois is they tend to be like kind of like short guys, and like
Huh.
being a tall guy is actually a disadvantage. Yeah, like
No,
Yuki Tsunoda is like super short. Like
it's kind of like jockeys, right?
yeah, it's a lot like jockeys.
What
Yeah, it's a
this guy's only 5'3"? Oh
yeah.
wow, that's crazy.
Oh, Max is 5'10".
Yeah, he's really short. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Alex is like
Oh
over
wow.
6 feet, and he's actually at a disadvantage.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
Nick DeVries is as short as him. I think like him and Yuki, Nick DeVries is like his teammate this year at
Oh
AlphaTauri,
wow.
and they're like the shortest team on the paddock. So the
Jeez, that's
height
so
differences
crazy.
in Yuki.
Well, I mean, if he does well, it's fine, I guess. That's
Yuki
crazy.
Tsunoda.
Interesting. All right. So next topic. So I'm
Mhm.
sure many of you know this as well, but the Supreme Court just ruled on this affirmative action case, and they basically ruled that affirmative action is illegal in higher education. You cannot take race into account at schools like Harvard, University of North Carolina, I think was involved in that lawsuit as well. And so yeah, basically, I think it helps Asians a lot in this case because Asians were getting hurt because we're doing better in basically every metric, with the exception of I think uh, personal like not personal values, but like personal whatever. They gave us really low marks on like our personalities or whatever. But yeah, apparently they can't take race into account, so everything's fine, right?
What was that? What was that thing that Biden's daughter said about how blacks
What?
can't make it? Like how it
Oh,
was like yeah, how blacks can't make
is it
it like on their own in any merit in a merit based system.
Kyle? Wait, what's her name?
Somebody, I think it was like, I
Hold
remember
on a
it has
second.
something to do with Biden. Like it was like one of
Yeah, no,
the,
it's a Biden staffer,
a staffer. Okay.
Erica Marsh.
This sounds viral account attribute. What?
Yeah, she's a well, they deleted her account because they weren't sure if it's her. It probably was her. Let me see. They probably were
Well,
just doing it to save face.
look at the images and Twitter. Yeah, there
Oh
it
yeah.
is. There it is. Wow.
Today's Supreme Court decision is a direct attack on Black people. no black person will be able to succeed in a merit-based system, which is exactly why affirmative action-based programs were needed. Today's decision is a travesty. So basically saying, she's basically saying that blacks cannot succeed on equal basis because they're just not as smart. Brutal.
Oh man, I mean,
brutal.
That's pretty.
Is it kind of true or what? What are you trying to say, Paul? It's kind of true.
This is like what's it called? Like how the liberals or how Democrats think.
is what this? It's probably true. I mean, in many regards, Democrats are more honest, at least, with their thoughts, because they know that black and Hispanics can't succeed at the same level as Asians and whites. So they just do this, affirmative action and quotas and stuff. But yeah, I think it's a big deal. The problem is that now schools are going to go by holistic admissions, which means I think a lot of schools already don't need you to take the SATs anymore. I think the IBs don't need the SAT ones anymore, or even twos for that matter. And a lot of law schools are not requiring the LSAT anymore. Wow. So it's basically, yeah. So they're gonna, and I think they said that also you can't that they can't have quotas based on race, but what they can do is in your essay, if you write things about being black or being in the hood, then they automatically will know that you're black, and then they can use that to accept you. Like you can't blatantly, like if they put black in their essay, for example, like, oh, I grew up in Compton, I grew up in really difficult household, like they can still use that information to help accept them, but they can't blatantly say, yeah.
Like I grew up in the rough neighborhoods of South Africa.
Yeah, I wonder if Duplessis will get into Harvard because of his African heritage. Oh my goodness!
I think Elon Musk can get into Harvard.
His kids are getting to Harvard for sure, right?
Yeah, man.
Proud African American.
Proud African American.
Oh man.
Yeah, very successful.
Oh man. What are your thoughts on this, Paul? So many people are pissed off about Asians supporting this. They're calling Asians white supremacists now for being against affirmative action. What?
Yeah. White supremacy has gone multicultural.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Dude. Like, really. There's even black white supremacists. Did you know that?
Yep. That? Yeah. If you support anything that helps white people, you're a white supremacist.
And not even that. It's like it's not even like you're helping white people. It's just like
we're de facto white supremacists, Paul.
After affirmative action.
Yeah,
I mean, does it help white people, or
no?
Or is it just Asians helping themselves?
Yeah, it's Asians helping ourselves. That's literally it. I mean, I think it barely helps white people. It makes it more fair for sure, but I think Asians will take all this majority of the spots that were given to blacks and Hispanics now. So it's a huge help for us. But for whites, I think it might help somewhat, but not.
I want to say that there's a lot of freak out.
Not that much.
From the left about this ruling. They shouldn't freak out, guys. This is an amazing ruling.
Do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
People finally get.
Shut up, dude. Dude, do you think like affirmative action like has been around so long because it's like whites feel that it's like threatened by Asians as opposed to blacks and Hispanics. Like if you take like affirmative action people, right, like into these colleges, it's like it's not really like real diverse competition. It's more like they're just like props. They're just like diversity props that you need just to, I guess what's it called? You're like I don't want to say it, but it's like they're like the like white people's like diversity monkeys, you know,
Or like the house Negroes.
something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
whatever.
they're like exotic. They're like exotic friend, you know, something like that. Like they just need to like uh what do you call it? Like the color thing, you know, like make the they
Like
just need to yeah yeah
all the
like yeah
like all the colors of the rainbow kind of thing.
um yeah so something yeah, it's like they're thing for diversity, right? It's like, oh, I have a black friend or something like it's but it, but
Oh
it doesn't
man,
really like you know what I mean, but it's like it doesn't really like pose a real threat to like their power
right?
like structure or their stronghold or something like that,
Yeah.
as opposed to like Asian prop like might actually like you know pose a threat,
Well,
like you
most
know
whites actually support or are against affirmative action. They're extremely against it, and Asians are actually against it as well. But whites are actually very against affirmative action if you look at the polls.
hmm,
Yeah. What's interesting is some people say that this will, and also there's been attack on legacy admissions now, um, which is interesting. Like after this lawsuit, I think is a gay Hispanic person brought a lawsuit against legacy admissions. And what's interesting is that a lot of whites celebrate this because a big proportion of the quote unquote white population in these schools are Jewish. Something like half or something of all of the whites who are admitted to the Ivy Leagues or more are Jews, even though
I
Jews only
wonder.
make up only even though Jews only make up 2% of the country, they make up like 30% of Harvard.
That's
Um,
interesting. Do you
yeah,
think it's because of do you think they get there because like out of from merit, or because or out of like legacy, or like
definitely. Well, some merit, but definitely like nepotism and legacy is a huge
more so
factor.
you think so more than like more
Yeah,
than more than just um yeah
like
like
merit.
more yeah like more
Yeah,
than
of
just
course. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They they
for
looked
sure.
at actually Jewish American accomplishments in these schools,
Uh-huh.
or
Uh-huh.
like in general, and it used to be very high, but now Asians have dominated. And
Uh-huh.
per capita, to like if you take their accomplishments before college into account, their number should not be that high at Harvard. If you're looking at like pure merit, yeah, they're probably
Mhm.
higher than their 2%, maybe like 5 to 10% of Harvard, but like 30% of Harvard. So it's like a huge
Interesting.
increase. Yeah, it's a huge increase compared to
Interesting.
their actual population. So they're saying that without affirmative action, without legacy, like Jews
Well,
would be hurt the most.
Gary, Gary, I think it's time. I need to tell everyone that my ancestors are actually from Kaifeng, and that yep, and that I need to get into Harvard, bro. I need to get into Harvard. All right. So I just want to say that I do have some Jewish blood, you know, from yeah, very ancient. Uh, don't take that 33 and me
Oh my
23
gosh.
and me test, you know. But yeah. Shalom. Uh, how do you say hi in Israel? How do they say
um,
that? No.
Shabbat
They
shalom.
say salam alaikum, right? Salam alaikum.
No, that's
Alaikum salam. Nah,
no,
I'm pretty
that's
sure that's how they say it, bro. I'm pretty sure that's how they say it. So salam
oh
alaikum, my
man.
brothers.
Oh
I'm
man.
definitely
Yeah,
getting
this is
to
really
Harvard now,
interesting.
for
This is a
sure.
really interesting graph. This is honestly one of my favorite articles ever. I really love
Uh
this article by
huh.
Ron Unz, who's a Jew himself, but
Right.
he wrote
Right.
this, uh,
Yeah.
against the Ivy Leagues. If you look here, right,
Oh my
the
gosh,
white
he's one
population.
of those anti-Semitic white supremacist Jews, bro.
All right, okay. The U.S. math Olympiad teams, right? Back in the
Uh huh.
70s, Jews dominated. But starting 2000s, when Asians started coming here, in the 2010s, Asians make up 72% of math Olympiad winners, right? And whites make up 28%. College math, same thing, like 50%. Physics, like 81%, ridiculous. And Jews used to dominate again, but now they're like 5%, right? So if you look at like accomplishments prior to college, like Asians absolutely crush everybody.
Wow.
But if you look at like the enrollment, you know, at Princeton, for example, Jews make up like 13%. They make up again, almost 30% of Harvard, 30% of Yale, whereas Asians only make up 14%. So like it's a huge discrepancy, and there's more Jews than there are white non-Jews at Yale and Harvard, which is crazy because whites make up like 60% of the country, right? So you know, overall, I guess my point is this is great for Asians.
So okay, I'm kind of curious though. Like,
Yeah.
what is the point of like getting more Asians into Harvard? Like, is it like to get more lawyers? Like, what exactly is this pipeline supposed to be? Like, more into politics or?
Yeah, it's a great question.
What's the end game here?
Yeah, almost all of the Supreme Court justices, a ton of the Congress, a ton of the presidents are from Ivy Leagues. And so, yeah, you get connections to top offices. It's easier to get into medical school if you went to an Ivy, much easier to get into a really good law school. They have a lot more resources, like money in general. So if you want to do research, there's way more resources for you to use. Connections is the main thing. But yeah, it's overall, it's that. And also, I mean, from like a moral standpoint, it's just fair. It just makes things fair. Like you're putting the best people into the best schools, and so your country will benefit. Well, no, so yeah, I mean, equality of opportunity, so that your country will benefit because your leaders, which will come from these schools, will be the best and brightest, right? Like in China, they're not having like, you know, people who aren't qualified go into like the best schools and then become world leaders, whereas you are having it here. So hopefully with this, we'll see just basically more, as an American, I'd like to see more fairness, more equality, more competition, like equal competition, so that we can take on other countries, you know? I think overall, it's good for us. It's good for the country in general, in my opinion.
Are you saying that this is how you make America great again?
Yes, exactly. By having more Asian leaders. No, but by more having more competent leaders, many of whom will likely be Asian.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Asian, but I understand. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I mean, like you look at the Singapore experiment, right?
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why Singapore like split with Malaysia was over those like basically what amounted to like affirmative action laws in Malaysia, you know, like the whole like Bumiputera thing and whatever. Like it's like you needed to have so many percentage of Malays or something, you know, and they were saying, oh, Singapore is racist because it's, but no, it's all just Singapore is just like completely meritocratic, and it doesn't matter if if you're Chinese or if you're Malay or if you're Indian. In fact, Indians are very successful in Singapore, specifically because they don't have the caste system there, and so like talented Indians from lower castes who do well are able to rise up the ranks and rise up in society in Singapore, and that's contributed a lot to like the success of the nation, of the country. That's why it punches like way above its weight.
Yeah, pure meritocracy. Love it.
Yeah, because it's very much a pure meritocracy. It doesn't. I mean,
not completely, but yes, as close as possible, which is great.
It doesn't favor Chinese. It's just that it's meritocratic, and it's, you know, and Chinese are just highly competitive. But well, so are other races too. Like even Indians are very competitive in that society. So it's not just like, you can't argue that, oh, they prevent like, you know, it's racist system or whatever. Like nah, it's BS.
Yeah.
I mean, some Malays do well, you know, some Indians do well, but there's no like racial barrier specifically like that keeps them from like, you know, from doing like racial handicap or whatever.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not black obviously, but like if you were a black person, would you even want to succeed in a scenario in which you have points just by being black? like you're going to be second guessing your abilities your entire life. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I just think it's super unfair, and I just want more meritocracy in the country. I think this is a step in that direction.
Um, maybe well, what I wouldn't want if I was like a minority or a black person or whatever is like to kind of be like the minority monkey, if that makes any sense.
No, what does that
You
mean?
know, like
You mean
a,
like the token black person?
something like that. Yeah, like the token minority, like the token black person. Like even even if I'm not black, right? But like I obviously I'm not black, but I have been in that situation where it's like in some of my friends, my Filipino friends, they call it like feeling onggoy, which is like feeling monkey, which is like you feel like you're the monkey. Yeah, yeah, no, like it's like when you're the only minority and like everyone is white and you're like the
Oh yeah,
only brown person, the only non-white person, only
right,
minority in that group of like white people. So you kind of feel like you're the monkey, like you're the like
right. Nah,
I'm not saying like you are, but it's just that that's how it just feels that way. Like you feel like you're kind of like their pet monkey.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, like you're like their exotic pet, and and then they parade you around like oh diversity, look at bring out the diversity guy, and then they and it's kind of like bro, like really, like I'm your, you know what I mean, like you're the
Yeah, no, I totally
diversity
get it.
monkey, they bring out the minority monkeys, the diversity monkeys, like for their you know for their quotas or whatever, to show everybody
Yeah,
like look
yeah.
at how look at my black friend, look at my white friend, I'm not racist, see,
That's pretty annoying.
like
Yeah,
yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's what I mean, yeah, that's how I would feel like if I was like one of those like you know if that happened to me, like that's how I would hate to be that I don't know. I don't like that feeling, bro.
Yeah, no,
I
no,
don't
that's
like
true.
it. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation,
Yeah,
if
of
you've ever
course.
felt
Yeah,
that,
being like
you know.
the token. Although there's less of that for East Asians because again, we're seen as white adjacent, so we don't really get those points as blacks or brown people. You know what I mean? It's
No,
kind
but
of
I mean
annoying
like
to some degree, but
yeah, I don't know, but okay, like I mean like I guess unless you're like in a super white, like you're like place, like let's say you're the only Asian, like you're the only
right.
minority in a group
Oh
in
yeah.
in a sea of white, then it's then you kind of um like, oh my god, Gary, like can you translate this Chinese menu, these Chinese words for us? It's like Japanese, hey
Right, right,
Gary,
right,
can
right.
you what are they saying in this anime, you know what does this mean, what does konnichiwa mean, Gary? Can you
Oh
make
my
some
gosh.
sushi, some kimchi? Gary, do you listen to K-pop? I
Yeah,
love,
that
oh my
definitely
god, I love
happens.
BTS.
Yeah, that definitely happens, dude. I think we all have experiences like that for sure in
uh,
America.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, what's
anyways,
this? What is this?
so this is the income by religious group.
Wow, bro.
This
Wow.
very high. So yeah, Hindus actually do really well here, 51,000. What other minority like Buddhists? I think most Buddhists are Asian, like 38K, kind of on the low side. Muslims make very little. Um, so uh, hopefully, with more equality,
Where is
this will even out a little bit.
where is Catholic?
Catholic, we're here 47, about average, I think.
Oh wow.
Well, this is in 2000. This is like a long time ago.
Oh
Yeah, kind of interesting, right?
yeah, yeah.
Very
Fascinating.
interesting. All right. Any other topics?
Um,
Yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is Ali Wong and
have you
how.
seen Beef? Have you seen it?
Yeah, have you? Have
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
What'd you think?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
kind of it got me listening to that song, "Self-Esteem" by
Oh, Nirvana? No,
no,
yeah.
no,
Self-esteem.
no.
Oh no, Offspring.
Offspring. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it kind of got me like in one of my autistic like repeat like moods.
I mean, I listened to them a little bit when I was growing up.
I mean, so did
Um,
I, but I mean, nah, because of this show, I was like, hey,
yeah,
sick.
so Bill Hader's now dating Ali Wong after she got divorced from her Asian
Oh
husband.
yeah.
Now she's dating this guy.
Okay, spoiler alert. Well, I mean, not for you, Gary, but I guess for our viewers, right? Is that
Okay.
on the show Beef, like she also goes through a divorce, so
Right.
the divorce proceedings. So it's kind of interesting, like
Right.
seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, I guess.
I didn't know she was going through that in real life, you know. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. 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 Kind of sucks. I don't need to.
I don't know if it really sucks, man, because I mean, like she was kind of making fun of him like the entire time. You know,
Yeah,
calling
it's
him,
true.
like a dolphin. And just like,
Yeah.
kind of saw this one coming, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, he's he HBS, bro, Harvard Business School. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Yeah. No, I'm saying
He'll be
as an
fine.
Asian icon, she just like divorced her husband. The Asian husband now is a white guy. You know, stereotypical kind of thing.
Whatever.
Whatever. All right. Let's finish off with some ANBM news. If you want to.
No, I can't believe she died, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Ah, that's true. That's nuts.
It's pretty crazy.
Wow, 48. I didn't even know she was that old.
You know, a lot of women, I think something like a quarter of women are on antidepressants these days.
Wow.
And like she kind of fits that a little bit. Like she's in her 40s, doesn't have her own kids, you know, and kind of like single career women kind of. I mean, she's married, but like I think she was separated from her husband, I believe. It's kind of, you know, a lot of women are depressed because they don't have that family to make them happy.
Yeah.
So, you know, and her husband is Bruce Rockowitz, I think a Jewish name as well. Kind of interesting.
I thought this was funny.
This group will love this. Couple mistakes 440,000 abstract painting for an interactive exhibit and paints over it. Oh my gosh!
I mean, look at it though. It's one of those. Yeah.
That's true. Is this a true story? That's so funny.
I can see more. It is pretty funny though. Like,
that
I mean, because look at it. Like you had all the stuff, all the
that is so
materials
funny.
on there. Like
this should not be worth that much.
It kind of reminds me of that one art piece that was like in a museum, and then like the janitorial staff threw it away because they thought it was trash.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can Google it. Yeah. That's like the janitor like threw it away because they thought it was trash. Yeah, throws away art. Yeah, right there you go.
Oh man,
champagne bottle art.
How much was it?
Throw away expensive art sheet.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's the whole modern art thing. You see, cleaning lady throw away expensive.
Oh my gosh, modern art is such BS.
Yeah. See, it's not.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
That's really stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of reminds me of that, you know?
$3.7 million painting was thrown out by hotel cleaning staff in Hong Kong. Ouch. That sucks.
3.7. Does that look like 3.7 million to you? That's bullshit.
No, I think it's complete honestly, crap. Yeah, no, this is complete bullshit. Yeah,
that's just money laundering. That's just money laundering. That's how they're paying for drugs, you know,
right,
or something, some BS. You know, they're not really paying for that art.
Yeah, it's complete crap.
Yeah.
So we're Korea now, joining a league in soccer, which is pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah, Asians are doing pretty well in soccer.
In all sports,
in sport, yeah.
Coco Lee was diagnosed with cancer while her husband had an affair with his best friend. Damn, that's probably what happened.
Um,
Brutal. Anyways, and then this is a pretty interesting photo, which I saw in the group. What's your favorite ethnic minority in the USA to live around? Asian/Arabs apparently are number one, followed by Hispanics and Jews. Only 7% said blacks. And then someone asked, why are Asians and Arabs the same thing? Their cultures are different. They have a strong sense in culture. Anyways, pretty hilarious. What do you think of this, Paul?
That's dumb. I don't really care.
No. All right. Let's see. Any other interesting news? I don't know. Man. Yeah. Oh, Avatar Last Bender starred by a Filipino. That's cool. Okay. I think we've exhausted our topics today. Agent Jesus. What? I'm Jesus.
You know, I still think boxing is a very technical sport.
Okay, you're right. All right, I take back boxing in the lighter weight classes. It is very technical. You're right. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
But the heavyweights are very sloppy in comparison. And the heavyweights are where the heavyweights are where a lot, like most of the money's made. Like most people care about the heavyweights, which is kind of weird.
Not really.
No. Yeah, dude, the heavyweights make the most money for sure. On average. Aside from like Canelo, because he has the entire country of Mexico like by his side. But aside from Canelo,
and the whole Pacquiao thing, like all his fights were like middle and lower.
Okay, Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Canelo. But the rest of them, like Tyson Fury makes a shit ton of money, like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Those guys are like the marquee names.
Yeah, but nah. I mean, yeah, but the lower weight classes, are like way more exciting. Like boxing aficionados and like people like.
Yeah, I agree.
It's more fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a much higher scale level. Look at this. When you finally become the world champion, how awesome is that, man?
I mean, it's good.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. And then Shohei Ohtani, we talked about that already.
So, we were talking about the whole like why baseball in China.
Oh yeah,
because it's like surrounded, right? Like because like Japan has like this huge like baseball history with baseball, and what's it called? Korea also has like pretty good baseball. And I told you that I think China is trying to bring in check this out, baseball China Chinese baseball history. That's interesting. There's a Chinese baseball league. There you go. China, they sent the team to Dallas. You can check it out.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, China versus Japan full game. Ooh, that's crazy. China baseball team. Yeah. Chinese baseball team takes over. Yeah. There you go.
Huh.
That's check that out. The Texas Airhogs. Yeah, they were there.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, they were to train. They were sent there to train and to improve their baseball game so that China can beat Taiwan and Japan. Taiwan and the Asian games.
It's going to take a lot of infrastructure and funding. China just doesn't have that culture and history of playing baseball. You know what I mean?
These things take time. You're right. And
that's my point.
Yeah, but you remember what we said about how elite athletes, like it starts at an early age. Like that's my point. A lot of them start like when they're young, and that's
right.
It's gonna take a generation, bro. Like, but that's okay. Like, I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I think baseball is a sport that Asians would excel in, and do. Asians can and do excel in.
They
I
do.
totally agree.
Japan has a great team. Taiwan,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they it's not just against America too. It's also very. I don't want to say it's international, but like a lot of the Caribbean countries, like Cuba.
Oh yeah,
And,
for sure.
yeah, communist countries play it, bro. Like it's not,
Yeah.
it's not this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you don't have to be a 6'10", 300-pound guy to do well. Until
yeah. Although I will say that, like, one of the trainers, I remember reading, one of the guys that was training these the Chinese baseball players in Dallas. He was saying that, like, one of the things they can do to like improve, is to get bigger, to put some meat in their bones, and like just be more strong. I mean, you look at Shohei Ohtani, you look at these guys, like they're still athletes there. Like they still gotta pack.
Bro,
on
I'm not denying that, dude. I'm not denying that. You're not understanding my point. No, I'm not denying that. Yeah, of
like
course
you
you have to be
have,
athletic.
like, muscles, like these guys. These guys are not wimps. They're not like chess masters or mathletes. Like these guys still do. They still have to be. They don't just sit in a chair and like or like esports.
Esports.
They don't just sit in a chair and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they're not just
look at these nerds,
little nerds, bunch of little. Look at those arms, those puny arms, bro. Those noodle arms,
Oh man.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that was like for the Chinese team. That's one of the American guys is saying, is that they need to like eat a little bit more, beef up a little bit more, to, bump up their nutrition, whatever they're eating.
Oh, man.
Eat more chicken, eat more beef, dairy, drink your milk, the protein. Eat your rice.
More steroids.
More steroids. Yeah,
roid. All right. Anyways, I think that about wraps up our Asian Voices podcast, which I believe is number 10. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Anything else, Paul?
Awesome, bro. I think I'm good. I think that's it.
All right. So, well, until next time, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you again. Signing off.
Likewise. You guys.
Yeah.